The movie begins with a girl exploring around the forest with a mythical creature. After flying around the market with her friends for a while, we find out that she's a princess called Elian. A guard who sees her approaching from afar instructs that the gate should be open for the princess to pass through. Her friends wanted to come along since today is her 15th birthday and is supposed to be throwing a party, but Elian refused, saying she wants to spend time alone with her parents on her birthday. As Princess Elian approaches the palace gates, the minister shows up and informs her that the king and queen, her parent, are requesting an audience with her. Elian practices on a good excuse to give her parent for leaving the palace, and just as she meets them, we find out that her parents are actually monsters. Her parents weren't actually like this, they were just humans ruling the kingdom peacefully, but last year when they were exploring around the forest, a darkness came from nowhere and cursed her parents, turning them into monsters. Only her and the palace workers knows about this, but the people are unaware. Ever since the incident, life hasn't been easy for her, because the whole burden of ruling the kingdom now lies on her tiny shoulders. She now has to do the job her parents are supposed to be doing, like signing papers, inspecting troops, and giving laws to the people. That's even just the least of what this young girl is going through. Her parents are supposed to be the ones taking care of her, but she has instead been the one taking care of them. She feeds them, brushes their teeth, bathes them, doesn't sleep well at nights, and also cleans up their messes in the palace. The general and the people are now fed up because they haven't seen the king and queen for over a year. They show up at the palace gates requesting to see the king and queen. The palace ministers named Bolinar and Nazara tells Elian that they can't hold the people off forever because they have already used every possible excuse, but Elian still needs time to turn her parents back to humans because she knows it will be disastrous if the people find out the king and queen are monsters. They tell Elian that this can't go on for long because it's being a year, and she hasn't figured out how to break the spell. Elian falls on her bed and screams in frustration, but the return of the royal postmaster cheers her up, as he has returned with an update on her message to the Oracle of the Sun and Moon. The Oracle of the Sun and Moon lives in the dark forest of eternal darkness, so the royal postmaster sent 8 of his best birds to ensure a safe delivery of her message to the oracle, but out of 8 of the birds, 7 of them were turned to stone because they consumed the enchanted berries of petrification. Only 1 bird made it to the oracle, and returned with a reply from them, written in a small piece of paper. In the small piece of paper, Elian sees an instruction saying water should be added to the paper. When she does that, the Oracle of the Sun and Moon appear to her. They are interested in helping her, but they must see for themselves the monsters our parents are turned into, so they can know how to break the spell. They tell her to expect them on the 3rd day of this month, which is today, which means they will be coming on Elian's birthday. Elian is so excited as she won't have to deal with monsters and secrets anymore, but just normal parents and normal life. The palace ministers Nazara and Bolinar are so tired of babysitting elephants, which has resulted to so many bruises on their face. But they are more afraid because Elian's birthday celebration is tonight, and they won't be able to hide the truth any longer of the king and queen being monsters from the people. Nazara suddenly figures out a solution to this problem. Since Elian is turning 15 tonight, they should lie to the people that the king and queen has passed away, and after all teardrops has dried, they will crown Elian as the new queen to rule the kingdom. Bolinar agrees to this idea, and just as they are about to go and tell the princess about it, Elian enters the room and informs them that the oracle is coming tonight to break the curse of their parents. They also tell her their plan of announcing the death of her parents to the people, crowning her as the queen, and sending her parents to the forest where she can visit them anytime. The princess agrees to the plan only after the oracle fails to break the curse of the king and queen. Nazara and Bolinar sings a happy birthday song for Elian, and after a while, the palace steward announces that the Oracle of the Sun and Moon is here. A gigantic frog enters the castle, and jumps to meet Elian. The frog opens its mouth and the Oracle of Sun and Moon comes out to greet the princess, but they aren't what she expected them to be. The Oracle gives the frog 5 stars for giving them a wonderful ride to the palace, and it leaves. Elian brings out her parent and the oracles get scared, because they thought it was just a metaphor. They thought she was just being dramatic because she's a teenager. Upon seeing her parents, the oracles were able to tell that her parents has been to the dark forest of eternal darkness, which is what turned them that way. They let her know that if the curse is not broken as soon as possible, her parents will remain monsters forever. The Oracle of the Sun requests for his magic wand, but the Oracle of the Moon informs him that he traded the wand for an upgrade. Instead of him needing bunch of wands for different spells, he traded them for a universal wand that does everything. As the Oracle tries to use the wand to break the spell, her monster parents comes out and attacks them. The oracles runs away and were able to escape, thanks to their frog, but this leaves Elian so angry with her parents because they just blew the only chance of her turning them into normal. Elian decided to go along with Nazara and Bolinar plan, which is by becoming the new queen of the kingdom. She sadly locks her parents inside a cage to be taken to the forest the next morning, and later shows up to give them a share of her birthday cake. The next morning, Elian wakes up to realize her parents have escaped from the cage. She goes to look at the palace balcony to see them causing chaos in the town. The general sees this and prepares the battalion to attack the monsters. Elian tries to stop the general and her army from hurting her parents, but when things were getting out of hand, she has no choice but to reveal to the general and the people that the monsters are her parents, their king and queen. Minister Bolinar explained to the general everything that happened that turned them into monsters. Elian tries to calm her parents, but they use their claw to strike her unconscious, leading to the soldiers to pin the monsters down with a net. The people are afraid after finding out their king and queen were turned into monsters by dark magic, and it might turn them too. They wonder who is going to lead them and ponder about their safety from the monsters. The general informs them to fear not, because Elian will be appointed as their new ruler, but as for the monsters, they will be taken to the far reaches of the earth where no one will ever see them again. Elian is so sad because this is not what she wants, and thinks of a way to free her parents from the cage. Luckily for her, she finds the oracle wand on the floor, which they misplaced during their escape from the monsters. With it, she is able to communicate with the oracles in a holographic form. The oracles are afraid to come back to help her out because of the monsters, but they decided to help her when she says she will come to them instead. Just as the soldiers were about to transport her parents to the far reaches of the earth, Elian uses the wand of the oracles to free her parents, and then create a carriage which she used to take her parents to a deep forest where the oracle stays. The soldiers chases after her both with horses and birds, but they lost trace of her as soon as she teleported herself to the deep forest. She shows up at the house of the oracle, but they went to panic mode again, as they didn't know she will be bringing the monsters along. She gives them back their wand, but they reveal that they don't have the capability to change her parents back to normal. They reveal it's only her parents that can break their curse. They instructed her to go to the Lake of Light in the mountains of the dark forest, which is only what can break her parents' curse, but they advise her to be careful because the dark forest feeds on dark feelings, making the person lost forever. Let me explain. If you enter into the dark forest and you begin to have any feelings of hatred, anger and sadness, the darkness in the dark forest will consume the person's soul, turning them into monsters. Without wasting much time, Elian quickly takes her parents to the dark forest. They come across a tunnel, and as they pass through it, they see beautiful lights everywhere. Just then, her both parents began to fight, and this leaves Elian frustrated. Due to these, she suddenly begins to develop a dark feeling inside her heart, making the darkness to appear and tries to suck her into it. Her parents, who realizes Elian danger, unleash a bright feeling from their mouths, and it overcomes Elian dark feelings, which saves her life. After they come out of the tunnel, Elian is so excited to find out that her parents can now speak. The only sad thing here is they don't remember her as their daughter, but are just monsters who can talk. Meanwhile, the general, while searching for Elian, finds trails on the floor and begins to track her down. Elian and her parents, who are still on their journey to the light, arrived at a place covered with sands. They step on the sand only for it to start sinking them. They find a rock to step on, and as they all argue on a safe place to pass to get to the light, this bad energy calls on darkness once again. Not just that, the general and her soldiers found them, and another chase begins. To stop the darkness, Elian figures out a way of making her arguing parents to work together, into saving a baby bird. After they did that, the darkness disappears. The general and her soldiers shows up to capture them, but her dad comes up with an idea. He uses the sands to create a fog, making the general to lose trace of them. Elian and her parents arrive at a mountaintop where they come across so many mystical creatures. Her parents sees how the mystical creatures were taking care of their young ones, and these brought back their memories. They remember that they are the king and queen, and Elian is their daughter. Elian is so happy seeing her parents have regained their memories, and they embrace each other in tears. They finally sight the Lake of Light across the other mountain and runs towards it. When they arrive there, the light shows her parents the reason they were turned into monsters. Remember, it is prohibited for anyone to fight or get angry in the dark forest. The king and queen, who were on their way back from a quest, ended up in an argument against each other, which is what led to the darkness turning them into monsters. Against Elian's wishes, her parents refused to step inside the Lake of Light, letting her know they can't be together again and can't go back to the way it was before. Elian gets so angry with them, seeing it as her parents not caring about her. This anger brings out darkness, and it begin to consume her soul. Her parents tries to save her, but are stopped by the soldiers, who captures them and forces them inside the cage. They manage to free themselves from the cage, and with their ability to now speak, they tell the general that they are the king and queen, making the general to stop and pays her respect along with the army. They tell the general that the princess is in that storm and they have to save her. The soldiers follows the king and queen to the mountain. Seeing that they are losing their daughter who is about to turn into a monster by the darkness, they quickly head straight to the Lake of Light and use their monster strength to divert the Lake of Light towards their daughter direction, leading to the darkness and her to disappear. They apologize to her for everything and express how they love her with a heartwarming song. She hugs her parents and the strong love among the three of them breaks the curse of her parents, turning them back to humans. 1 year later, Elian tells us how things has been so good ever since her parents resumed their post in ruling the kingdom. After she plays in the forest, she returns back to the palace only to get a happy birthday surprise party from the townspeople, her friends and her parents. Even the oracle shows up and tells her that they are proud of her. Her parents gives her a birthday present and gives her permission to go wherever she wants to go with her friends, and that was how the movie ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.